As we can see from the last couple of talks, certainly changing paradigms is something that as surgeons we're used to, whether it be our own standards and this to achieve and outcomes for our patients. But certainly the other thing that keeps changing on us is regulations. And our next talk is about changing regulations in hernia surgery. And to deliver that is Dr. Harsha Chandraratne. Harsha is a current trainer at the Royal Australasian College of Surgeons and an associate professor at the Notre Dame University. He's a surgeon in Perth with a main focus in bariatric hernia and gallbladder surgery. But more importantly, he's also one of the founders of ANZ Hernia. So over to you, Harsha, for your talk.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Sume. So there are two things that are going on in Australia. I apologize that I don't have experience in New Zealand, but there are two things that are going on in Australia that I'd like to talk you through in terms of what's happening in the hernia space. If I can make my thing, there you go. All right. So the first one, as you know, there are changes that are happening in mesh regulation with our TGA, our Therapeutic Goods Administration. And really what they've done is they've reviewed the surgical mesh classification, and they've moved our mesh from class 2B to class 3. And what that really means is they've kind of identified that the mesh is considered now a high risk product, which I must say I find disappointing, but that's really in response to what's been going on in the media. So this requires manufacturers to report any adverse events that they would with any product, but and they've also now involved prospective data reporting, although the framework around that is still kind of being developed and it's not very clear as to what's required. Over the last 7 years, there have only been something like 25 complaints to the TGA about different products, and I think when we sat down and worked out, we would estimate that for a population the size of Australia, we would expect 10 to 20,000 different mesh-related issues, either chronic pain, recurrence, mesh contraction, and clearly the bulk of those are not being reported. And then the other problem is that when you actually come across a mesh problem, you're not really sure, if you didn't put the mesh in, you're not really sure whose mesh it was, and you don't quite know what you should be reporting anyway. So this is one of the problems that we have, and hopefully having a hernia registry will get around that. This is the new clause that's been added to the TGA's charter, which is basically that any device which is a surgical mesh is now class 3 by definition. So it's there. This is the time frame. So the legacy meshes are currently still technically class 2B, but all of our mesh companies have got till the 1st of December of this year to resubmit all their paperwork to drag them into category 3. Any meshes that have been applied for since 2018, December 2018, have automatically been applied for in the category 3 version. But as of next year, every mesh will be class 3. And I've just lost my pointer. Okay. So and really what they're wanting is every class 3 device needs to have a unique product identifier, which I'm hoping will be a barcode that Sanjeev Karuna's database will be able to scan in easily for you. But like I said before, the future reporting requirement is not clear. They want ongoing prospective studies of how the mesh behaves in vivo, but we're not sure if that involves just having a follow-up study in a different country like the United States, or whether they want reporting for what happens in Australia. And so it won't be limited to just adverse event reporting. But we'll have to wait and see what they come up with for that. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was the changes that are going on with Medicare at the moment. And these are the changes that you can actually find on the Medicare website. They come into effect on the 1st of July. So it's only a couple of months away. And some of our old favorite item numbers have now been deleted. So the laparoscopic repair and the open repair have been deleted. And we now have a number that combines both those repairs. That's how it's defined. The fee has not changed, so it's still the same for all of those across the board, which is nice. And that's the inguinal repairs. The ventral repair, our standard ventral number's also been replaced. And again, the fee for that has not changed as well. And it doesn't really matter. And then interestingly, this also now includes a recto-rectus repair. They've defined that. But the new number that has turned up really is around component separation, and this is going to be interesting. And I think it's being remunerated at a rate which is appropriate for the time spent in doing this kind of procedure, and that's how it's defined as well. So they're available on the Medicare website if you want to have a read about them in detail, but you'll find that they'll be in the MBS from the 1st of July. I want to take a moment to thank all the guys that have been we've been working with in setting up this meeting, but also in working around behind the scenes and setting up ANZ Hernia. I look forward to seeing where this society goes. And I really also want to take a moment to thank the sponsors that have really supported this meeting. And so please make a point of making contact with them. It's without their help, we would not be able to do things like this. And also please make a point of talking to them and hopefully using their products as well. And if anyone wants to get involved with ANZ Hernia, please contact me or one of the other one of my other co-conspirators, because we really need all the help we can get to try and get our fledgling society off the ground. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harsha, for that excellent talk and a great roundup on what's happening from the hernia scene, particularly on the MBS point of view. I'll pass on to Vivek for some final comments before we pass on to Ramana for some closing statements. Vivek?
Thank you so much. I think it was a wonderful session and leading speakers. So I would invite questions from the panelists and open to discussion further, please. Anyone who would like to ask the esteemed speakers or the panelists about?
I just want to echo Harsha's comment. I think one person cannot do it. This is a group effort, and I think all of us contributing our own way anyway. But this been started off since the Milan conference, isn't it, Harsha? When we were there, trying to get things started. It takes a while to get tractions, and I think I want to thank Chris and Alex. I think you guys been pretty solid for the start and Harsha. So the more people we get involved, the better for us in the future, I think.
Absolutely.
I think I was going to say, as a younger fellow, this is, just coming into this is a really exciting new field, and huge thanks to Chris, Harsha, and Alex, and David Wardle, and everyone we've seen, particularly from the AWR side in India as well. So it's very exciting, particularly for the younger ones of us listening in today.
Thanks. I want to take a moment to thank the AWR team in India and Vama Events. They've once again put on a fantastic show, and they've worked really hard. Thank you, as usual, Rama. I know you always will have the last word, but once again, we look forward to further collaboration with the Greater Hernia family, and hope that we can join our American and European colleagues into one meeting sometime in the future. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I suppose right now it would be lovely to invite Dr. Ramana to give us a closing statement for what has been a very successful day, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Sune. And I think it was very good too. And I basically want to say just a couple of things. Most of you may know of the Pareto principle. You make 80% of your profits in 20% of your activities. So in line with what Todd said about how to become a better hernia surgeon, one of the things I think is very important is to spend time with people who are smarter than you, more experienced than you, more learned than you, more skillful than you. My personal opinion is, in line with Pareto, you spend 20% of your time with smarter people, you pick up 80% of what you do during those times. So organizing an event like this gives us that opportunity to put in just a little bit of time and effort and learn a whole lot. And this recurrent theme of brotherhood, of cooperation, of absolute love and passion for the subject is what unites us. And I think most of us want our younger surgeons to be smarter than our generations. And to this end, if the Enzor collaboration helps, then I think all of us who are involved in organizing this event and this continuing fraternity between ourselves would be extremely pleased. So thank you to every one of us here and those who are not here at this moment. And this entire thing has been a fabulous team effort with a lot of back-end work done by people like Sharath Sharma. And I won't name anybody else. There are too many people who are involved. So thanks everybody. And hopefully 2022 will be better and we'll get back for the third season of Enzor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I think this is we come to an end of our Enzor 2021. And hope to see you all again. Be safe. Thank you.
Stay safe.